Alright, so here we are with Triple Threat. This is Warmage mode, Orcs Must Die 2. This is my 5skull strategy. And really the whole thing revolves around this. It's a little bit of filtering that I came up with. I screwed around with this map a lot because it's just so much fun. It's so frantic and so hectic, and frankly, I just think this is brilliant. So I thought I'd share this strategy with the community and see what anybody thinks. I'm always interested in ways to improve it, tweak it, what have you. And really, this just made it a lot of fun and almost too easy, frankly. So let's go through the loadout a little bit. I've got the crossbow with extra damage on headshots, and headshots regenerate mana. The ice amulet and the wind belt are totally maxed out. Spring traps, absolutely essential that they're set to flip heavies. Now just there you see the real benefit of those spike walls. I didn't realize when I first set them up that they would take out the healers, but they do. And they do a pretty good job with the rest of the heavies. I haven't yet seen them push an armored ogre over the edge, but they've got a decent shot with the ball and chains,
so exhausting.
and the ogres, the mages. Every time if they get hit by those spike walls, they're going over the edge. So this is really just a beautiful way to get rid of a lot of the heavy damage. Ice makes short work of runners and sappers, so we're good there. So back to the loadout. The spring traps have to be set to flip heavies. That's going to help to get them into the void walls, as well as helping to get them over the edge into the acid, because as it turns out, orcs can't swim in acid. There goes a mage. Just no problem at all. Boom barrels maxed out. Spike walls, I think they're set to stun. They should be set to stun, like a good phaser. If they're not, they should be set to stun. Webs, obviously, for a little help with control, whatnot. Decoys, too much fun, the decoys. They make this a pleasure. Barricades, obviously, again, for control. I think we've got them set up to take less damage, because they are a bit of a target for sappers.
Fly away, little friends.
And last but not least, the void walls, obviously there with skeletons. The skeletons, again, being essential. They're free decoys, basically. They help with the job of wrangling kittens that is killing these orcs. So we're on to wave 3 here. Wave 3 is when the second door opens, so you want to make sure and have the spike walls set up on the opposite side to help filter that side. And you can just watch throughout the video how many of the heavies are taken out by the spike walls. It's just amazing. This method works as well, if not better, with the warmage, because obviously you can throw some tar in with the spring traps there and help slow them down a little bit. You can throw some tar in front of the spike walls and slow them down a little bit there. That just kind of increases the effectiveness of the spike walls a little bit. And really at this point we've got the basics of everything that we need to beat this map on warmage. In a little while I'll start to set up the secondary oh shit box that comes more into play on nightmare mode, but I like to set it up here just in case, because you know you can make it. There's the first barricade towards setting up plan B. But with this strategy, it's really easy to make a mistake, get a little bit of timing off on those spike walls. If they're not terribly effective, then you're gonna have a bad time. But again, we've got skeletons coming out of the void walls, we've got the decoys that we can use, and pretty soon here I'll start to put up some boom barrels to give us a little bit of extra damage. So here you can see I lost a little bit of control, but it's pretty easy to get back.
Sink like a stone.
And in just right here, I remember that I never set up the barricades on the other side, so I can't rely on Plan B just yet.
I'm going to enjoy this. Come out and play.
Anyway, here's the rest of Plan B. I'm convinced that with this kill box alone set up properly, you could beat the level. But the void walls and everything up here just make it that much more fun. So really the biggest thing here is just mana management. But the void walls give us all the resources that we could ever really hope for here, so for the most part there's not a big concern. You can just have a lot of fun with mana and the carnage that comes along with having plenty of it. There's a bug on this level that guys tend to kind of get stuck outside the map somehow down there, so it's another good use for the wind belt, is finding and eliminating those bugged little bastards.
Time to dance. This should slow
Alright,
them
here
down.
comes the blocking off of the other side, so now Plan B is in full effect. And the boom barrels. I'm a firm believer that the only way to really solve a problem is to explode it. Hunters, you want to be kind of careful how you deal with them. But in the end, it's not a huge deal. So it's really just a lot of watching stuff fly into the void walls. And the barricades took a little bit of a hit there, but not a huge deal. Got them set up to take less damage, so they made it through pretty well. Plenty of cash thanks to the void wall to really set up our defenses here. I can't tell you enough how much I love those spike walls. I remember reading somewhere that, I think it was on the forum, someone was saying that the spike walls changed the game, and I definitely think that's accurate. Especially on this level. It can potentially be such a problem just because of the heavies. A lot of the high scoring videos, a lot of the 5skull methods that are out there are really kind of a pain in the ass to pull off, because you've got to do so much manual fighting in the midst of trying to maintain control over just a shit ton of orcs that come out of those doors. And this really makes it pretty easy. Now, someone smarter than me would have set up decoys in front of those void walls on top of the springs much sooner than I did it in this video. But that's part of the fun of being me. So a little bit of vigilance with your ice and some decent headshotting And there's really not a whole lot of trouble here. I guess if you're not very good with the crossbow or headshotting, you may want to practice up a little bit, but
We'll enjoy this.
once you start getting going with boom barrels, there's just no stopping you, really. Now, I started putting up the ones over the secondary spike walls, because it seems like archers like to stand there. From where I'm defending, the archers like to stand there and take shots at me. And I discovered that it just really makes me happy to see a boom barrel come down on top of a whole group of them just standing there.
Hold your breath.
Again, between the ice and the wind belt, the runners and sappers aren't a huge problem. And I'll have a video coming out for applying this strategy to Nightmare Mode 2, which looks a lot like this, but it's a little more frantic. There's a couple of times that the oh shit method comes into play. We end up making use of Plan B, but I haven't recorded that one yet, but it's coming. So at this point, there's not a whole lot to do. Just stay vigilant with your wind belt and help those guys get in the void walls. I'm a little bit on the fence about the boom barrels on top of the void walls, because I really like putting the guys in there as opposed to exploding them. Mostly because of the resources that they provide when you do.
So predictable.
But at the same time, we are going to have heavies getting into that area, so we just want to have as much insurance as we can that they're not going to get past. Again, a little bit of vigilance with ice goes a long, long way. Get rid of a lot of healers like that. Can't say enough good things about the boom barrels. Don't forget too that you've got that chandelier up there that can come in pretty handy. Especially along with the ice, that does a good bit of damage. I assume everybody knows by now, but if someone just started playing the game, anything that's frozen takes double damage, or most things that are frozen take double damage. There are exceptions to that. So in that case, things like boom barrels and extra damage headshots from the crossbow and chandeliers, logs, and whatnot are really, really effective.
Off we go.
So that was wave 9, the long fabled difficult wave on this map, and it really wasn't a problem. We've got enough firepower up here now that we don't have too many worries. Keep building out the Plan B box just because that's kind of how I am. You just never know. There, I finally got up those decoys there a little while ago. Those just really do the job for you. Between that and the spring traps, you can kind of light up a smoke. Play around a little bit with some boom barrels. Whatever you need to do. It's just not that difficult at this point. Part-time, again, part-time is not an issue on this. I think I ended up on this run. A little bit of overkill on that runner, but we got him. I think I ended up on this run at like 14:44 or something like that. And part time's around 16 or 17 minutes or something, so no worries there whatsoever. Even if you do end up having to fall back to the Plan B box, it's not that far away. You really don't lose much time. And that's just such a simple and elegant way to get rid of them that it's kind of amazing.
So much
Again,
wonderful
skeletons and
death.
decoys and dead orcs, oh my. So we're just about at the end here. Again, I'm always interested in any kind of feedback people have to offer. Feel free to leave a comment or you know, whatever. So we'll just finish off these last couple here and do the 5skull dance, and we're done. So thanks for watching. Let me know what you think. Later.